Able seaman Ben Jackson was used to sailing on rough seas, but no amount of stormy weather could have prepared him for travelling in Tardis. The space-time machine was being bounced back and forth, as if it were a ball in a game of table tennis. Both Ben and Polly, his pretty fellow companion, were sliding left and right and trying desperately to find something solid to hold on to. The turbulence did not seem to affect Doctor Who, however, who remained steadfast at the control unit, frantically flicking levers and dials. "Here, Doctor, is there any chance of you bringing this boat back under control?" Ben jeered. "I'm starting to worry we might all be seeing a return of what I had for me breakfast." Doctor Who winced. "I am trying my best, Ben." He tried another switch. To no avail. The TARDIS kept on swaying. "If you had any idea how difficult it is piloting TARDIS, perhaps you'd appreciate the skill and dedication involved." Polly, ever the peacemaker, attempted to diffuse the growing conflict. "We're both very appreciative of you, Doctor Who," she said sweetly, just before Ben caught her when she was thrown sideways by another sickening lurch. "And we certainly couldn't do a better job than you of piloting TARDIS, but do you think you might be able to get us out of this turbulence? I'm getting a terrible migraine." The Doctor made a final course correction, fingers crossed, and their flight began to level out. The various alarms blaring from within TARDIS fell silent. "There we go," Doctor Who said, grinning. "You see, Ben? All you had to do was ask nicely." Ben clenched his fists. Sometimes Doctor Who was the limit. "Like that was anything to do with you. You just got lucky with the controls. You don't even know how to fly this thing." Doctor Who glared at him. "Oh, thank goodness for that," Polly sighed, changing the subject, and she was pleased to be able to stand up straight at last. "Well, Doctor," she touched him on the shoulder. "What was that all about? One minute we were travelling smoothly, the next we seemed to be inside a sort of cosmic washing machine." Doctor Who turned his back to her and consulted his astral maps. "A cosmic washing machine is a very apt description, Polly," he exclaimed. Ben rolled his eyes. Had it been he who had made that joke, Doctor Who would more than likely have told him off for being facetious. Our journey happened to take us on a particularly hazardous area of space known as the Tempest," the Doctor explained patiently. "Fortunately, I managed to turn us around before any real damage was done." "No real damage?" Ben grumbled. "Tell that to the bruises on me knees." "Well, it could have been an awful lot worse," Doctor Who spat back. "Very few ships entering the zone of the Tempest are ever heard from again. But then, they don't have such a skilled pilot as I." Ben groaned. "A skilled pilot wouldn't have let us drift into this Tempest zone in the first place, would he? You're a danger to us all, I reckon." Doctor Who huffed and ignored the remark. "Oh, you tell him, Paul. He might listen to you." Polly gave Doctor Who a pleasant smile. "Yes, well, one would think that there should be some kind of alarm or warning when we approached such stormy waters. Perhaps it's TARDIS that's at fault, Doctor." A realization dawned upon Doctor Who. "Stormy waters? Yes, you're quite right, Polly. We should have received a warning from the nearest astral director." "Astral what now?" "Dangerous areas of space, like the Tempest, are bordered by navigation beacons known as astral directors. TARDIS should have been detected by the nearest beacon and warned by radio signal. Yet we received no such warning. How odd. How very odd." Ben leant close to Polly and whispered, "I expect they tried to call us. He just forgot to turn the old wireless on." "I heard that, Ben. No, TARDIS would surely have passed on any proximity warnings to us, had it received any. I wonder whether—" He trailed off and flicked on the monitor screen. It displayed what looked for all the universe to be an island floating in space. Extending up from the craggy, pock-marked rock was a red and white striped tower, at the top of which sat a giant bulb, unlit and useless. Well, stone me, Ben whistled. Lighthouses in space. I've seen it all now. Surely that light should be shining, Doctor, Polly queried. Given how close we are to the Tempest? Doctor Who examined the image on the view screen for signs of life. It seems to be inactive. Deserted. That'd never happened in my time, Doc, said Ben. A lighthouse should be manned and operational 24/7. You're right, Ben. Perhaps we'd better land and find out what's been going on. I have a queer feeling that something sinister is afoot. Wakey, wakey! Ben shook the sleeping keeper of the Astral Director. You've been sleeping on the job, mate. The keeper yawned, and his bleary eyes took in the sight of the three travellers. Hello? Who are you people? What do you want? They had found the man unconscious on his chair in the darkened control room of the lighthouse. Doctor Who stepped forward. I am Doctor Who, and these are my friends Ben and Polly. We came to investigate why this Astral Director was non-operational. And we found you, slumped over the controls, having a lovely nap. The keeper sat up bolt upright. I've been asleep. I just rested my eyes for a moment and... He noticed the time on a clock on the wall and frowned. That's not right, he muttered. That can't be the time, surely. I'm afraid so. Polly patted him on the shoulder. You and your colleagues downstairs are all fast asleep. We tried to wake them, but they won't come round. Far away in the land of Naught they are, Ben added. The keeper shook his head. But that isn't possible. There are alarms and processes in place to ensure this beacon is kept operational. The doctor completed his study of the control banks. All of which have been carefully disabled and this beacon powered down. Someone was very keen that you enjoyed a long and undisturbed sleep, Keeper. The same person who filled this tower with sleeping gas, no doubt. Polly raised a hand to her mouth, suddenly afraid. Oh, don't worry. We let it all out when we opened the main entrance door downstairs to come in. The air is quite safe now, I think. The keeper was slowly becoming more alert. But who would do such a thing? And why? All very good questions. But don't you think you ought to get this beacon back up and running? There is the traffic in these space lanes to think of, after all. The keeper hurried to restore power to the automatic systems. You're right, of course, he said, quickly resuming the vital service provided by the astral navigator. That may well flush out our enemy also, Doctor Who added thoughtfully. Someone has gone to a lot of trouble to shut you down temporarily. Who could it be, Doctor? Polly was curious. Who would stand to benefit from drawing rockets to shipwreck? Who indeed? The doctor replied, his brow furrowing. It's the sirens, I reckon, Ben offered, not entirely seriously. That's who used to get the blame for shipwrecks back home on Earth. You may have something there, Ben, Doctor Who nodded, taking him seriously. But I don't think we're dealing with Greek mythology here. It is something altogether more tangible, more mercenary. Something like, well, a pirate. Doctor, Polly gasped. A fierce-looking muscular man, at least 8 feet tall, wearing a mismatch of clothing, had burst into the control room, wielding a vicious-looking weapon. Ben had sensed the new arrival before the others, and had wisely stepped back into the shadows, sizing up the intruder. Ah, Doctor Who exclaimed before addressing the new arrival. I take it you are the source of our problems. Am I correct? The burly villain fixed his attention on Doctor Who with his cybernetic eye patch. I should say you're the cause of my problems, matey. Had a good thing going here, we did. Caught ourselves 3 lovely passenger liners and a transport ship in the last 5 hours we have. Out of the corner of her eye, Polly saw Ben, who had somehow managed to escape the attention of the dastardly criminal, slowly move closer to the space pirate, surely with the aim of disarming him if he got the chance. She decided to help by providing a distraction. That's beastly, she cried. What happens to all the people on board those ships? Not all of them will have survived, Doctor Who said grimly.
We sell 'em into slavery,
the pirate admitted cheerfully.
Which is what I'll do with you, troublesome lot, if you don't provoke me into killing you first. And I'm very easily provoked.
You brute!
Be that your spaceship out there on the rock?
The pirate asked, ignoring her completely.
The blue box?
Doctor Who stiffened. What if it is?
Never seen a ship like that one,
the villain admitted.
Looks undamaged. Fetch a good price at market, no doubt.
You can't take the Tardis, Doctor Who exploded. That's more than our ship, it's my home. The space pirate chuckled.
It belongs to the Brotherhood of Space Pirates now, my friend. You all do.
His speech was cut off by a swift punch from Ben's fist. Not if I have anything to do with it, mate. Ben pounced on the criminal, and they fought in the cramped control room for control of the gun. The weapon skidded to the floor, and Ben kicked it away instinctively. Watch out, Ben! Polly cried as the pirate drew a sonic knife. The two men faced off against each other, both sizing the other up. The pirate slashed out, Ben leaping sideways to avoid injury. The space pirate grinned, enjoying the fight, confident of a win. A sudden fear struck Ben, the acknowledgement that his opponent was bigger and stronger, but he refused to back down as his attacker moved in for the kill.
You put up a good fight, boy.
Gold teeth glistened inside the space pirate's wet mouth.
But it's over for you now.
A blast from the pirate's gun struck the villain in the back, and he yelped in pain, turned to look at who had fired the shot, and collapsed. The smoking gun was being held by the keeper, who had retrieved it during the melee. You haven't killed him, I hope, Doctor Who said, with just a hint of menace in his voice. Only stunned, the keeper answered shakily. The space police will want to speak with him, and to the rest of his brotherhood. They're on their way, Doctor Who promised. I activated the silent intruder alarm during the fight. They should be dispatching their officers now. I suggest we lock ourselves in here until they arrive, just in case any of this unconscious fellow's brothers try to find out what happened to him. Well done, Ben! Polly grabbed him in a hug. Yes, well done, Doctor Who added gruffly. It took courage to take on a fierce criminal like that. Good job, too. Can you imagine if those felons had got their hands on my Tardis? The very idea of it was making him angry. Barreling around in space and time, completely unable to control their flight? Sounds familiar, Ben added, fortunately too quietly for Doctor Who to hear, but Polly heard, and she giggled. The Doctor continued ranting. Well, who knows what kind of damage they might have caused? Polly put her placatory hand on his arm and smiled wickedly. It's all right, Doctor. We've still got you behind the wheel, haven't we?